Welcome to Standard Solution website training. My name is Michaela and I'm going to be showing you the Standard Solution website. Standard Solution is a teacher's resource website. It is www.standardsolution.com. On the bottom here under member login, you'll enter your username and password. And click enter. This will bring you to the Standard Solution welcome page. Our welcome page welcomes you to Standard Solution. Over under what's new, we have some new workshops. You can click and view our new workshops. Home will bring you back to our welcome page. There's also an area to change your password. Across the top, we have our navigation bar. We have Home, IIS, which is Improved Instruction Systems, Assessment Analyzer, Help, and Log Out. I'm going to start with our Help. If you mouse over Help, you have two options, Support or Contact Us. If you click on Contact Us, that will bring you to our contact information. We have Standard Solutions mailing address, telephone number, and the technical support email. It is support@standardsolution.com. If you click on Support, it'll bring you to our Support Center. Our Support Center has training manuals, additional training materials, and webinars. Training manuals, if you click on the first one, this is our website quick guide. This is everything that I'm going over today. You can download the quick guide or save it to your computer. Download and save are down here. The other training manuals are instructional material, creating a template, how to create edit groups, how to set up your groups for online assessments or entering benchmark data. These are 1 to 2 page documents that go over small aspects of the website. Next, under IIS, we have workshops. If you mouse over workshops, you can click on Common Core. We have Common Core workshops. And this will list every workshop that Standard Solution provides. You will get access to the workshops that have been presented in your district. You'll select the tab, and then you would select Access Materials. And this would give you the access to the materials on from the Standard Solution workshops. Once again, you only have access to those materials of the workshops that were presented in your district. If you wanted to get some of the handouts, you would click and it would load your handout, or you could download the PowerPoint which was presented. And that is how you access the materials on the Standard Solution workshops. Next, we have lesson plans. We have PARCC lesson plans and Common Core lesson plans. The PARCC lesson plans, if we click on PARCC lesson plans, are for grades 3 through 11, reading, writing, and math, 20 lesson plans for reading, 20 lesson plans for writing, 20 lesson plans for math that go over the requirements of the PARCC assessment. So here, if you click, we have a recommended implementation guide. And to access the lesson plans, you would select your grade level. If you wanted reading, you would click on reading, and you have your 20 lesson plans for reading. And you would select the lesson plan that you would like to view, and it opens up. If you wanted writing, you would select writing and click on your lesson. And the same with math. Each one of these lesson plans are pertinent to the PARCC assessment. We also have lesson plans for the Common Core. The Common Core lesson plans work in grade level bands. These are lesson plans to the standards of the Common Core. We have K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. You would select your grade band and then select the area that you would like to view lesson plan for. I'll open up a couple of these lesson plans. And they work the same way. You click on the lesson plan you would like to view, and it opens up. They also list the standard for the lesson plan underneath each one. So if you're looking for a specific standard, you can look underneath and it will tell you RL 8.9. This is Reading Literature, grade 8, standard 0.9. If it says RL 0.6, 0.7, and 0.8, this lesson plan addresses that standard for all 3 grade levels. And as you can see here, it shows you how it addresses the standard for all 3 grade levels. And those are our Common Core lesson plans. So remember, we have PARCC lesson plans and Common Core lesson plans. Our PARCC lesson plans are specific to the PARCC assessment, and our Common Core lesson plans are lesson plans to the standards of the Common Core. Next, under IIS, Improved Instruction Systems, we have instructional materials. Instructional materials allows teachers to come in and get materials, whether it be writing prompts or passages with associated questions or math problems. So here you would select once again your grade level band, and then you'd have under language arts the options of reading literature, reading informational, writing, and language. Under writing and language, our narrative, informative, explanatory, opinion, argument, and persuasive are all prompts. So if I click on narrative, I get a list of different prompts, and then I can view or print a writing prompt. So a teacher can easily come in and grab a writing prompt. Your informative and opinion work the same way. And there they have a writing prompt. Under language, these are exercises. So the teacher can come in and view and get an exercise. Then for the rest of the areas, we have reading literature, reading informational, and writing. These are passages or texts with associated questions. So we could come into fiction, and you'd be able to view all the different fiction passages that we have. They give you a recommended grade level. You can read or print the story. And then if this is a story you wanted to utilize in your classroom, you could come and select questions. When selecting questions, it gives you a list of our skills that are being assessed. You can mouse over and get a brief description of that. And it lets you know how many questions we have for that skill. So this skill has 4 questions. I can add or remove some of these questions by clicking on it and checking off the questions that I would like to use. Here we have a depth of knowledge, level 1, level 2, and level 3. These are highlighted in red, yellow, and green. They are partially proficient, proficient, and advanced. So we can select the appropriate question for our needs of our classroom and save that to our template. If you're looking at the skills and realize it's a skill level that you want to remove altogether, you can click Remove Skill from all skill level questions, and it will remove all the skill level questions from that template. So then we can add remove. I want to take 2 and save. And we continue through the different skills as we create our template. The template is up to you creating it. If you wanted all multiple choice, you would not at the bottom add an open-ended. If you want to add an open-ended or constructed response, you would click Add Constructed Response, and you could add that to your template. And once you have completed selecting your questions, you will name your template. And save your completed template. Once you've saved your completed template, you have the option to revise your questions, print your questions, print an answer key, which will give you the answers to the multiple choice questions and the standard that was associated with that question. and print an answer sheet if you wanted the students to answer on a different piece of paper. Now, we also have another feature with the Standard Solution website that allows you now to assign this template. You can assign this template as an online experience for your students. To do that, you would click Assign Template. In order to assign to students, they have to be in the system. I have set up a demo group. I will show you how to put your students into the system when we get to Assessment Analyzer. So assigning this as an online experience, I would select Online. I would select my grade level. It will show me any groups I have created under that grade level. And then I click Assign Assessment. Assigning the assessment then makes that template unable to be revised. If you create a template and then go in and revise the questions, if students have already answered some of the questions, it will skew the results. So once you create a template, you cannot revise that template. But you can make as many templates as you would like under any story. So if I wanted to make another template for a pair of silk stockings, I would click Select Questions and start the process all over. And that's how you make a template in instructional materials under language arts. It works the same way for poetry, drama, social studies, science, persuasive multimedia, and writing. To make templates under math is a little different. Once again, we select our grade level band. And then we have our standards: geometry, ratio proportional, relationships and number system, expressions and equations, statistics and probability, and functions. Under each standard, we have selected response items, constructed response items, and extended response items. So let's say we wanted to get some constructed response items, selected response items for functions. I would click on Functions under Selected Response. It would populate with all the options. And then I will check off which questions I would like to use in my template. And then I would save them to my template. Now, if I'm done, I name my template and save my completed template. Or I can insert more questions. I am not bound to functions. I can now insert some selected response from statistics and probability and check off what I would like in my template and save. Once again, I can insert more questions. I can insert a constructed response and save. And if I wanted, again, I could insert more questions. If I am working on a template and I don't name my template and save the completed template, but accidentally maybe click here or click out of the system, if you come in and see you currently have a work in progress template with 6 questions saved or whatever number of questions, you can click View and it'll bring you back to what you were working on. So if you're saving math questions, you won't lose what you've saved. So then once again, we can insert some more questions into the template. We can insert an extended response. The system will also let you know if you've used this template before, of the math question before. Doesn't matter, you can use it as many times as you'd like. It just lets you know so you don't have to keep track of the different questions that you've used. And then once you're done selecting, you would name your template. And save your completed template. Once again, you have the options to revise, print your answer key. Your answer key will give you the answers to your short constructed, your multiple choice, and your open-ended rubric, or an answer sheet. And also, once again, you do have the option to assign this template as an online experience for your students. So you would click Assign, select Online, your grade. It will show you the groups you have made in your grade and assign assessment. And once again, once it is assigned, you are no longer allowed to revise that template. These templates can be utilized online or pencil paper. And once you have created them, I will show you how to utilize them as online. So in order to have students take an assessment online, they're going to have to be in the system. So you're going to have to create your groups and set them up. So under Assessment Analyzer, if you mouse over Assessment Analyzer, you have the choice Group Setup, Manage Assessments, Enter Assessment Data, and Analyze Assessments. We're going to go to Group Setup. So we click on Group Setup. Here you have the option to add a new group. There are two ways to add the information for your group. One way would be to name your group. Select your grade level. Select the number of students that are in your class and manually enter all of their data, which nobody really wants to do. The other way would be we work with your district and get the student data into our system. Then you would name your group, select your grade level, and come to import students. You would select the school and you would select your grade, and then all the students that are in that grade for that school will populate in this box, and you click on the name of the students that are in your class and then save group, and your group is saved. And that's really as easy as it is to make a group and get them ready to take an online assessment. This group is now ready to take an online assessment. So I'm going to go to the demo group I set up before and show you how they can take online assessments. Once your group is set up, you'll have an option for online assessments and online formative assessments. The online assessments are things you've assigned from instructional materials. So if you just created your group, you won't have choices in there until you assign it from instructional materials. But if you go here, you're going to see instructional materials, and you're going to see my quiz that I made in instructional materials and my math quiz that I made. So those are now available for these students to take as an online assessment. We also have online formative assessments, and the online formative assessments are Park-like assessments created by Standard Solution that are available for use from your district. So we would click here and you would see the different available online Standard Solution formative assessments. Ones that say Tech Enhanced afterwards, they have Tech Enhanced items, and then we also have a new literary assessment and math assessments. So I could select that, and this group is ready to take this assessment. So how do they do it? It's whatever I select in the drop down. I can only have one drop down at a time. Whatever is selected in the drop down, this group is ready to take. I select what I want them to take and I click Print Student Logins. This will put the student logins one to a page if you print them out. Then the student will go to www.standardsolution.com. Under Student Login, click Enter and put in this login information. And we will enter the login information. Let me enter that information again and click Login. They will then be brought to the assessment where they have their text and then the questions. And they would select their answers, save and continue. This is a Tech Enhanced item where they could enter the answer down here. And they would also save and continue. So those are our Standard Solution online formative assessments. So once you create your group, you have access to our formative assessments. And once your group is created, you can create your own and instructional materials and assign them to the group. They will then be able to print your student logins and take the assessment. Our student logins are a student ID, a PIN, and a group ID. So let's look at this. Student ID, PIN, class ID. If you have to add a new student to your group, we're going to edit group. You will up this by one or as many, and at the bottom of the box will come and you'll enter your information. When you get to the student ID, the PIN, and the state ID, if you have these numbers, they are unique to that student. You enter them and that'll be fine. The PIN can be the same as the other students in the class, and I'll explain the PIN in a second. If you don't have these numbers, you can go and create them yourself, but they must be unique to that student in this group. So you cannot repeat a number that was used for another student. So this student couldn't have a 3 or a 10013. It would have to be a unique number. And then you would enter those and save your group changes. The PIN is what we call our safeguard. The PIN is defaulted to the same for each student if we have your student data entered into the system. If, as an educator, you feel that the students might be sharing logins, you can go in, edit your group, and change that number for each kid. Creating a unique PIN also, and then you would save your group changes. I'll show you the PIN. Oops. If you needed to change the PIN, you could create a unique PIN for each student to prevent sharing of logins, and you would save your group changes. So now each student has a different PIN, so we would print our student logins and they would have to use their other PIN. Now if I switch and I go to the quiz that I created in instructional materials and log in, I will now be brought to the quiz that I created in instructional materials. So it is whatever is selected in the drop-down, that is what the login will bring the student to. And then they once again would go through Save Continue until they've completed their assessment. At the end of the assessment, they have the option to review their questions, and then they get a final submit. After the final submit, as I'll click through some of these, So with their final submit, they will get the answers to the multiple choice and the tech enhanced questions. If it is an open-ended question, it is graded separately. So now let's look at some of the results from the assessments. So now we would go to Analyze Assessment. And under Analyze Assessment, you have your two areas. You have your online assessment and your online formative assessments. The online assessments will be anything that you have created from instructional materials, and the online formative assessments are the results from any of the standard solution online formative assessments that you might have administered. The results are almost the same. There is one added feature to the online formative assessments, which I'll show you in a moment. So the results are results by assessment. We have language arts and we click on our assessment. And this gives you results as a class for each question. So as a class for each question, you're going to look for what we call the red flags. These are marked in red, yellow, and green. Red being partially proficient, yellow being proficient, green being advanced. So you can see that question 5, question 9, question 10, question 12 are what we call red flags. The class as a whole fell below proficiency. You can mouse over and look at the question to maybe see what could be causing the red flag. And you can also see the results by the individual, so you can see the students that are red flags. We have a print view, which opens this up without the standard solution navigation menus around it. You can download it into an Excel, and we also have a chart, so you can view the chart of the data. That is the results by the assessment. We also have results by student. The results by student will show you all the assessments that the student took and their proficiency level. Results by proficiency breaks down the subgroups, so you can get a breakdown of the proficiency levels of the different subgroups. Results by class total shows you the class and its ranking, so you can see each student and how they did. And then we have results by item analysis. Our item analysis lets you know A, B, C, or D, what was selected and what the answer was. And you can see here on question 10, you can mouse over, it'll show you the question. The answer was B. 33% of the students picked B. 66% picked C. Now you can maybe look between B and C and possibly find what the issue might be. Or you can even go back to instructional materials, to our lesson plans, the Common Core lesson plans, and find a lesson on that standard. Also, under the online formative assessment, Standard Solutions has prescriptive lessons. Prescriptive lessons are lessons specific to the standard that was assessed on the question. So here, if we go to question 10, we can view the question and we have a lesson. This lesson is specific to that question and the standard that was assessed, and you can use this to help understanding that skill that was assessed. And there's our question. So that's the results for the assessment analyzer. So once again, on the Standard Solution website, we have home, IIS, which is our approved instruction systems. Approved instruction systems give you instructional materials, lesson plans, and workshop access. And then we have our assessment analyzer. Our assessment analyzer allows students to take online formative assessments or online assessments that were created in instructional materials and analyzes that data. So that is an overview of the Standard Solution website. I hope it was informative, and if you have any questions, you can contact me at support@standardsolution.com. Thank you.
Standard Solution, the Common Core specialists. Visit standardsolution.com.